Welcome back to my channel, everyone. Today, I'm going to take on a book review, spoiler-free style, on The Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown. Please subscribe to me before we get started. In this book, we open up with a murder. And this is a very strange murder that takes place at the Louvre Museum in Paris. Beside the murder victim's body, who happens to be the caretaker for the museum, there's a strange puzzle, a mathematical message. The caretaker carved a pentagram in their chest or painted with their own blood. And it's a very bizarre and strange crime scene. So the police call in Robert Langdon, our main character here, the symbologist, the scholar. He comes to try to help them make sense of this crime scene. And he happens to get a partner in this novel named Sophie. She is also a police cryptologist, and she has a father with some strange pagan background. So that sets this up, this novel, is this murder. And as we get into this book, before we know it, our characters are looking for the keystone, which is a central piece on the hunt for the Holy Grail, and they're being pursued by different people, and it's this huge suspense story that plays out here. It's a really brilliant tale is this, and a truly pulse-racing novel here, I thought this was. In this book, there's a kind of controversial theme here in the plot that the kings of France were descended of the bloodline of Jesus and Mary Magdalene. And it really brought a lot of really just interesting perspective to this novel. And it turns out that Da Vinci may or may not have put some hidden messages in his paintings concerning this bloodline and this whole mystery that takes place in the book. This book is really good because of the religious mysticism involved. The characters are great in this book. Robert Langdon is one of the most successful fictional characters in history here in this book. This book was explosive when it came out. It sold a lot of copies right away. It's actually, to this day, sold 1.4 million copies in the US alone. I absolutely love just the religious tones in this book. You know, I'm not particularly religious myself, certainly not in the manner of the church in this book and what goes on in the Da Vinci Code. But I'm just really compelled to these kinds of mysterious things like this. And Dan Brown just took the idea for this and he ran away with it. I got this book one night when I really needed something to read. And it was after dinner, it was late one night. And when I got it, I just wanted to finish it in one setting. I was that compelled by this interesting plot that Dan Brown takes on with this hunt and the chase for the Holy Grail and the conspiracies and all of that kind of thing, the alternative religious history. This book is just such a very well thought out thing. I absolutely love this book. Robert Langdon happens to come into play in some more of Dan Brown's novels, and he kind of plays a similar role in some of these novels where he's trying to help figure out some kind of strange puzzle, like what happens with the beginning in this book. And I really like all these books by Dan Brown. You know, Dan Brown really philosophizes in his book. All throughout this book, in any one of these Robert Langdon novels, he puts his ideas about life and consciousness and everything on these pages. And I was just almost struck by some of the passages in this, almost like I wanted to circle them. They were just so thought-provoking and compelling. I really like Dan Brown. He's a very mature and wise person. He's a great author. And I really like his ideas and what he manages to accomplish here in working his personal perspective into this brilliant novel. I give this book a 5-star review. This is the most suspenseful novel that I have ever read. This book, I just can't say enough about how well-rounded and how well thought out and how suspenseful this is. You're just wanting to know at every twist and turn in the plot. You're just compelled to keep reading and going and going. You know, this book is worthy of all the attention that it has received. This is my favorite standalone book. It is just an unbelievable, spectacular credit to fiction and novel writing in general. This book, I give it a 5-star review. You know, it's actually, this book, I'll say one more thing in favor of this book. It's been translated into 44 different languages. And it is also a big film. It was a big thing with Tom Hanks that played the character here, Robert Langdon in the Da Vinci Code. And I just can't say enough about how great this novel is. It'll go down as one of the best books of all time. Thanks for joining me, everyone. Don't forget to subscribe if you made it this far.